Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we are completely flipping the script. Literally. Instead of looking at teaching from the front of the room, we're taking a seat at a desk. We're adopting a student's perspective. I want to share the actual proven classroom techniques that genuinely help us learn. I mean, we've all been in those classes where the material just, flies right over our heads, right? And then we've been in others where everything just clicks perfectly. Well, by digging into these 7 foundational teaching strategies, we're going to uncover exactly what those really great teachers are doing behind the scenes to make vocabulary and grammar actually stick. Okay, let's dive into this. What makes a language class truly unforgettable for us students? Is it just a teacher lecturing at a whiteboard for an hour? No way. Definitely not. From where we sit, an unforgettable class is one where we don't even realize how hard we're working because we are just so genuinely engaged. So we're going to reveal our absolute favorite learning strategies. These are the ones that take a super boring grammar drill and transform it into a lesson we actually look forward to. Section 1. The student perspective. For us, the overarching goal of literally any effective language class is met when teachers connect grammar with real communication. When the rules become actual tools to talk to each other, our engagement just skyrockets. We stop seeing language as some complicated math equation we have to solve, and we start seeing it as a key to unlock actual conversations. Which brings us to Section 2, the power of context. This is the very first major strategy teachers use to hook us before we even crack open a textbook. Creating a meaningful situation using simple language, that is exactly how you capture our complete undivided attention. So, how exactly do they do this? Well, I've got a quick step-by-step guide to show you how the best teachers establish context. Step 1. Use a real-life situation. Stories, everyday scenarios, that kind of stuff works best. Step 2. Let students guess and build curiosity. We want to predict what's happening. And then there's the absolute most crucial part. Step 3. Do not give answers too quickly. From a student's perspective, this is the magic trick. Letting us sit with the mystery for a second, letting us guess, it literally wakes our brains up. We get completely invested in the lesson because we just want to see if our predictions are actually right. Let me show you a real-life example of using context for new vocabulary. Imagine the teacher just writes this on the board. Want to buy a house, but no money. Boom. Instantly, there's this natural curiosity in the room. We students immediately start thinking, wait, who? The teacher, some character in a story? What should they do? We suddenly need words like loan or mortgage or savings to engage with this totally relatable problem. By the time the teacher actually introduces those vocabulary words, we're practically begging for them because we need them to express our ideas about this specific situation. Once we are totally hooked by the context, we move right into Section 3, making language stick. The focus here shifts to helping us actually say the target language out loud and document it so we don't forget it the second the bell rings. And this brilliantly illustrates how that works. Let's take a target sentence like, have you had your hair cut? Teachers elicit this language from us, and then they encourage repetition. They give us dedicated time to just practice. But what really helps us here is when teachers call on us individually to check our pronunciation and then give us pair practice. As students, this builds our confidence massively. We get to test drive the new language in a safe space, knowing the teacher is monitoring us to make sure we've got it right. But, just saying it out loud isn't enough. We actually need to remember it. Take a look at how this is structured on the board. The article was published last year, followed by the specific meaning. Someone published it, unknown. When teachers provide a super clear written record and include the grammar structure, where the stress falls in the sentence, and the exact meaning, it is a lifesaver for us. It guarantees that when we copy these notes down, we are taking home an accurate, reliable record that we can actually use to study later on. Moving right along to Section 4, personalizing our learning. Guys, I cannot overstate the thrill of this stage. This is where abstract grammar connects directly to our own real lives. Let's break down exactly why this personalization works so incredibly well for us students. First off, it increases motivation. I mean, let's be honest, we naturally want to talk about ourselves and our own opinions. Second, it improves retention. When a word is tied to our own personal memory or future goal, we remember it far better than some random textbook example. And third, it encourages genuine communication. We are no longer just practicing a robotic drill. We are having real conversations with our classmates about our actual lives. Now we transition to Section 5, improving student accuracy. Instead of just lecturing at us, teachers have us actively compare new phrases with known patterns to naturally sharpen our precision. Up to this point, we've really just been focused on getting the basic meaning across. But now? Now we refine it by discovering the grammar rules ourselves through active practice. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the comparison. On the left, we see that grammar fundamentally changes meaning, like, the difference between give him, give her, or give them. Huge difference. On the right, we see the communicative value, which is brought out through interactive activities. For us students, connecting these two things is a massive light bulb moment. We realize that applying the correct grammar rule isn't just about pleasing the teacher. It's about making sure the person we are talking to actually understands exactly what we mean. Accuracy serves communication. Which leads us directly to emphasizing accuracy. From the student's desk, this is the practice of focusing strictly on correctness and actively editing our mistakes. Guided discovery and targeted practice actively improve our precision here. Good teachers help us realize that while making mistakes during a casual chat is totally fine, there are times when being exactly right truly matters, especially in formal writing. And here is the perfect real-life application of that concept, the job application. This is where emphasizing accuracy really hits home for us. When a teacher shows us that focusing on grammar directly sets us up for success in high-stakes, real-world situations like writing a cover letter or a job application, our whole motivation changes. We want to edit our mistakes. We want to be precise. Because we know that in this context, accuracy isn't just a letter grade on a piece of paper. It's literally the difference between getting an interview and getting passed over. Let's move to Section 6, the ultimate classroom goal, and see how this all builds together. Because these 7 techniques we just covered, they aren't isolated little tips, they are stepping stones. And they lead right here to the ultimate goal, fluent and accurate learners. When a teacher successfully combines engaging context, plenty of personalized practice, and real communication, the transformation is just incredible. It takes us from being struggling students who are just memorizing disjointed rules and turns us into confident, fluent language users who can express ourselves freely and communicate with precision. It is the absolute perfect balance of fluency and accuracy. So, to wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with an assignment pulled straight from our source material. Which strategy will you design your next classroom activity around? Choose just one of these 7 strategies, whether it's building a fun mystery context or personalizing a grammar rule, and use it to design your next lesson. Present it, test it out, and just watch how your students react. Because I promise you, when you teach from the student's perspective, the results are truly unforgettable. Thanks so much for joining me, and keep learning.